up? What's up? Welcome back. This is your girl, Mary B, and I am back with another show review with you all. As you know, I am so excited. This is episode 3 of Harlem. You know how much your girl loves Harlem, and we are back with episode 3 review. Like, right after episode 2 review, I had to go ahead and watch episode 3. Like, when I did episode 2 review, it was like a few days before it was supposed to come out, so I strategically planned it. And I was like, you know what? I can't wait till it come out so that way I can jump right into it. And I am ready, so I can go ahead and just push all these out at once. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into episode 3 review. I'm excited. But before I get into the episode recap and review, be sure you subscribe to this channel. You know your girl is new. I'm out here trying to get to know you all. Subscribe. And please go ahead and comment. Please, I want to talk about this. I don't want to be on YouTube talking to myself. Let's talk about this. Tell me your thoughts too. And then go ahead and share this video with someone who you know watches Harlem and might find this review kind of funny or insightful too. So we open up this episode with our faves, Camille and Ian. And Camille is rushing to the door. Ian is at the door and he's just got off work. And it is time for them to take their relationship to the next level. So he's coming in and they're getting into it, like getting in, you know, hot and frisky right there in the door. And at the same time, while they're showing us Ian and Camille, they flip the screen to Ty, who is hella pissed about Brandon popping up at her house. So as the scenes are flipping back and forth, like the words are syncing up, some of the actions are syncing up, and it's hella cool how they have that. And so they're going back and forth, and we finally get to Camille and Ian in the bedroom. And it is the funniest thing to me. I was sitting there, like, I had to rewind because I'm laughing like, you could see what it was. Like, from the moment you heard Ian say, oh, I'm finna show you something, Camille's like, you gonna show me something? Wait, what's going on? And so it got to be a competition. It was a sex competition between Camille and Ian. And he was like, oh, let me show you this. And she's like, oh, let me show you this. Listen, Linda. It ain't no competition, but these folks like, I'm gonna show you this move and that move and that move. And I was like, you could tell they're like in their head, because at one point when Camille was showing her move, you could tell Ian like, oh, you got new moves, huh? That's when it switched in his mind, like, oh, she trying to show me what old boy done showed her. And you could tell that Camille is like, oh, well Mira was doing this, because at one point he was like, arch your back. She was like, what? You get out your head. So on the other hand, we have Ty, like I said, when they were flipping back and forth, hella pissed because Brandon showed up at her place, and that's understandable. Like, where you coming from? Why you popping up? And so what made me laugh with their scene is that Brandon is acting so nonchalant about this. It's funny to the viewer, but I know to Ty it's like hella frustrating, because he comes in the room and he's like, yeah, I'm finna order me some food. You want some? And it's like, Brandon, get out of here. We don't like you. Nobody wants you here. Go home. Like, with Roger, like, go home. And it's like, all right, so our next scene takes us to Angie. And Angie is at another audition, and she's looking cute. Got this little white little outfit on. And as the man is describing, you know, what he wants her to give, the words he's using, I'm like, what is she gonna be doing? Because he's like, this is a generational song or something like that, he says, and multi-layered. And I'm like, what are we doing here? When the song drops, I'll be darned if it's not, I put my hands up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Sir, get out of here. Get out of here right now. And the way she was dancing, like, y'all need to go watch it. That scene just took me out, because it's like, shutting out on the table and everything just, go watch it. All right, so then we get to go home with Angie and Quinn, and Angie is venting about her audition and letting her know, like, I almost feel humiliated for what I had to just do. Like, I did a lot and I didn't even get chose. Like, and we all could relate to that in different senses, doing a lot and don't even get chose. So, they're talking about that, and Queen is being her usual supportive self, like, oh, it's okay. Well, it's all right. It'll be better. And it's like, Queen is always that friend that's just optimistic. And I can, again, I'm kind of like Queen. I'm always very optimistic of, let's look on the brighter side of this. Can we find a little light in this tunnel? Just a little bit. And so they get to going back and forth, and they get to talking about how Angie has this Erykah Badu tour audition coming up, but she hopes to get a call back from that, and Queen is really excited about that for her. And they're talking about Queen going, with her dad, for his birthday, spending the day with him. And as they're talking about it, you can kind of tell that Queen's a little off or whatever. She's feeling sad. And I think they even mentioned it. And it's in some of those moments to where, like, I think in that moment, if Angie didn't have stuff going on too, she probably could have dug a little bit deeper with Queen. Because Queen does say right there that I'm not feeling like myself. Like, I'm going to be there for my dad. But I'm just not, she's not herself. And she's like, well, you seem like yourself to me. You got this going and that going, because she got her index of cards that she keeps. But yeah, my routine may be good, but I'm not really that good. So there's that. But like I said, we didn't really dive into it because Angie got her stuff going on too. But I did see that moment. And so Angie gets to telling Queen, well, you can more than welcome to come meet to my barbecue. We're finna have a little family barbecue, whatever. And she's like, no, I'm just gonna go with my dad since I told him I'll be there. And so that's where they decide to, just go their separate ways. Angie leaves, goes to her audition, and Queen's there getting herself together to get ready to go with her dad. So then we roll over to our girl Ty. And as we saw in the previous episode the night before, Ty's little plant is dead already. But she's back at this plant store to return it. And she slides the lady the plant and like, hey, you told me that this was gonna be something I could keep. Like, this was something I could not kill. Look at here, I killed it. I need you to give me something that I cannot kill. And so the lady's like, we got a shovel out back, like, you want that? And so in this scene, Ty pretty much gets an epiphany of what she needs to do to get her information in regards to how to be a couple or whatever she's trying to do at this point. But what was funny to me about this scene and the aha moment was the lady like telling Ty, like, read our policy sign. And this sign said no cash or refund. Like, the wording on the sign was so confusing. No cash or refunds, only returns exchange or returns exchange. Like, it would have confused anybody. So Ty ended up just getting a new plant from the lady. She ended up getting a devil's ivy, which the lady says is pretty much just the weed. Don't nobody want it. You shouldn't be able to kill this. And so Ty's like, oh, okay. The lady's like, matter of fact, to ensure you can't kill it, here's a book that you can use to help you not kill it. And Ty ends up leaving with the plant, didn't pay for it, leaving with the plant and not the book. She probably should have took the book too, but I think she got her epiphany from the lady saying, get somebody to teach you. And the lady's like, get somebody to teach you how to take care of this plant. Somebody who know what they doing, not me. And the way she kept stressing, not me. Not me. Don't ask me. Because I ain't feeling you. You thought I was feeling you? She ain't feeling you. She ain't feeling Ty. She won't Ty out this store. That's probably why she let her walk out the door without paying for the plant. Because at this point, she's like, girl, whatever. Good go. Then we cascade on over to our group link. I love a little group link where we get all 4 of our girls together. We at our restaurant. And we're going around the room as per usual. And Ty starts off like, yeah, because I just got an epiphany. Like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and live with Evan and Alicia for a minute. And, see how they live life. A little domestic couple. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, cool. Who you talking about? Who is that? And Ty, like all of us, or maybe a lot of us, has another group of friends, which is like, these are my best friends. You could have best friends in all your many different friend groups. You know what I'm saying? So this couple is a part of her gay friend group. And they're like, from my gay friend group. Like, oh, the cool friends, those friends. And Quinn was like, oh, well, I guess I could be a part of that group now since I going on lady dates and stuff. And everybody's like, no. As a matter of fact, stop saying lady dates. Like, we sick of you. It's like, leave it alone. And so as she's explaining the couple to everybody, she's like, well, they're like the Ian and Camille of my gay friend group, just without the drama. And Camille was like, we don't have, I think Queen was like, they don't have any drama going on. And Camille's like, well, and that's like the gulp. And she's like, well, see, what had happened was, and she gets to explain about last night and how they were in the bedroom doing their things. And she just felt uncomfortable. She was in her head. She was thinking about, oh, was he doing this with Mira? Well, did Mira do it like this? Or well, let me do it like this, because I bet Mira ain't do it like this. It's like, I want to put my best moves on him because he might be putting his best Mira moves on me. So we finna be doing this move. And it's like, it got to be too much. So she was explaining to them her perspective of it. And they're letting her know, well, that sounds normal, And Quinn, to me, gives her the best advice. Because I'm like, Quinn, like, talk about it. It's like, you should be able to talk to Ian about anything at this point. Like, just talk to him and let him know. And Ty gives her the next best advice, like, to relax, just go ahead and get y'all some edibles so where you can get out of your head. Y'all can sit there and enjoy the edibles, relax, enjoy the moments, And Angie's like, just don't even worry about it. Just let it be, child. Just let it be. Don't talk about it. Don't just be about it. Get it, but no, like I said, Angie's one of those friends, like, there for you, ride or die. They just might not be the best friend to take advice from. So be cautious on taking advice from friends like that. Just tread lightly. So they're going around the table talking about what she should do and how she should just relax, and how experimenting after a guy has double back can be fun, to see what he's learned and what you've learned. And Angie brings up the fact, like, yeah, because you gotta go ahead and pee on her. And the table kind of screeched like, what did do that at? She on her Carisha stuff. Like, I'm not gonna kink shame nobody, but okay. So next we pull up on Quinn at her dad's birthday event at the little golf course. And she's looking cute in her little outfit or whatever. And her daddy is Rick Fox. Her daddy is Rick Fox, little fine self. And so they hug and everything, and she gives him the gift, and she hugs him a little bit longer, a little bit tighter. And of course, every parent's gonna feel like, you all right? You hugging me a little harder, a little tighter, like, you all right? And so she says she's okay because, like she told Angie, she doesn't really want to talk about everything she's going through to not ruin his birthday event. So she doesn't go into it. And as they're sitting there talking or whatever, and I think she's about to probably go ahead and just say something, her mom comes up and talking about her and just timing is all off. And I know moms mean well, but lady, why are you talking about this girl hair right now? Over asking her, have you changed your hair? She's like, no, well, you should. If I was Quinn, I would have got back right on my golf cart and went on back up somewhere else. And like, I can't deal. And so she goes back and forth with her mom. They have a cute little, well, not cute. They have a little banter back and forth. And her mom gets to telling her how she invited extra people. And one of these extra people is this guy, Michael. And she literally runs down Michael's resume. We know this man is an Aries, or however you say it. We know his DNA. We know his birthday. We know where he grew up. Like, we have the Carfax about Michael before we even see his face. And so when he comes over, he's all right looking. I could see where they were going. He giving something. And so he comes over with his little self, and he introduces himself. And he's like, I'm guessing that what my mom told me your mom said is probably not true. She's like, yeah, baby, I ain't know nothing about you. But they make the best out of the awkward situation, and they move on. So we catch back up with Angie, and she's hopping out of her Uber at her people's house. She's finally made it to her family's barbecue. And what really just pulled on my heartstrings is Angie's whole family comes outside to greet her. Like, the whole family comes outside like, you are the star of the show. We've been waiting for you. You have arrived. Angie has arrived. Like, she has arrived. And so the whole family coming out. They giving hugs. They giving salutations. And it's the meeting of her mom for me. When I saw that Sherry Shepherd was the mom, I was clapping in excitement like, you better. Like, Harlem is on it. Like, y'all are on it. So, the family that they have for Angie is the family I would have pictured for Angie. Loud mama, just like her. Big, huge family, like, close family, like, what I would have pictured. So I really liked that scene of getting to see the introduction separately outside of the other scenes that we'll have with the amazing table scenes and the garage scenes with Angie family. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so then we leave Angie and we go over to Ty, who is now at Evan and Alicia's place. And she's explaining to them that, you know, I'm just here to watch you all, you know, see how you all function. Like, I admire y'all's relationship and blah, blah, blah. She's giving them all the details. And they're sitting there like, you sure you want us to teach you this for your app? Like, you the one with the app. You want us to teach you how to date and stuff? It's how, like, well, it's not really about how to get the partner. It's how to keep the partner, how to maintain that thing like y'all are doing. And they're like, okay, well, feel free to watch. Like, and she's like, I'm just act like I'm not here. And that's kind of what they did. Like, they told her, like, this is the routine we do. This is what we're about to do. And Ty was like, okay, just going along with the ride. And by the time I was going along with the ride, I was ready to text Ty's sister way before she did, because what I wanted to tell Ty was that not every situation is going to be the same. And I'm guessing she maybe knows that. But their routine is not going to be the routine that you would have with you and your partner. Like, they click on those things because they like those things. They like having their leftover Chinese turned into soup for Saturday. They like game show marathons. And that's where they lost Ty. That's where I was ready to text the assistant again and be like, come get us. Come get us from over here. Because, what? But hey, that works for them. They were very happy, excited to tell Ty about it. But then they went straight to sleep. Left Ty awake. So, if it works for them, they like it. I love it for them, okay? But what I did like about Ty spending time with Evan and Alicia is that she did get to see that aspect of having a partner, having someone for you. And that's what I say. It's just, that's what they like to do. So that's what they like to do. They clicked on all those things. Like, and I think Evan or Alicia, whichever one it was, she said that, like, this is something that we like to do together. Man, it was really, you know, kind of click in the beginning. So this is just something that we always do. And I felt that's cool. And like Ty wrote on their note, they were great teachers. They were great teachers to show what a good, solid relationship would be like. And they taught, it was a good scene overall. I enjoyed it. All right, so we move over to the scene with Camille and Ian. And Camille has taken Ty's advice. So she stopped by the store, she said, called WeWorks. And she's picked up all the edibles, the drinks, all the stuff with the THC that the folks had in the store, and she brought it in. And she's explaining to Ian, it's like, hey, so I picked up this stuff from WeWorks, for no particular reason, even though we know it's a reason. She's telling him, like, I picked up these things that I want us to go ahead and try, to help us get in the mood. And he's like, so you weren't in the mood the other day? And she's like, well, I was, but, with work and everything, I was just so in my head about things that I wasn't, just focused on, I was just too in my head. And so she has that excuse, like his aunt saying, excuse for everything. So she has that excuse for buying the edibles. And so, as we know, Ian smokes the weed. He had Camille smoking the weed first season. So he's not opposed to the edibles. So he dives straight in. And she's like, whoa, you just going. He's like, yeah, might as well. And so he feeds it to Camille, which I love. He feeds her some, and they get to vibing out and get to eating them. And so they come to a scene where they're like dancing, and like the whole Camille and Ian being high and doing the edibles, like, those were my favorite scenes this episode. For many reasons, but especially because of how he expressed his love for her in both of the, like, in all the scenes, really, but especially when they were high and stuff. He was, like, expressing how much he loved her. And when they say when you under the influence, you high, you drunk, you're gonna say how you really feel and what you're really thinking. And he was really saying this. He was really saying it. And so it was they're taking the edibles, whatever, they get to dancing. And baby, when Kid Ken came on, I love me some Kid Ken. I follow him on Twitter. Shout out to Kid Ken. When his song came on, I got the I said, oh, this is gonna be turned up. They were turning up. They started dancing, doing little TikTok dances. And even then is when Ian first expressed his, like, love for her. They were dancing and he saw that she still knew the dance or whatever. I guess maybe they had learned together or something. And he was like, my girl still got it. Like, man, I love you so much. I miss you so much. And it's just like something about your man telling you those type of things just does something to you. I guess I'm a girl who likes reassurance. And when a man is telling you or expressing himself to you, they're just like, I was ready for her right then to just rip everybody's clothes off. Like, I wanted to jump in there and be Camille and be like, come on right now. And she tried. She definitely tried because I think she was feeling it too. But then that's when, again, the folks were high. He started looking in the mirror and all of a sudden he saw himself as Drake, honey. Like, he's like, ooh, I do look like that boy Drake. I look like Drake. And what you know about eyebrows? Because I got some on my face. Like, he was tripping. He was tripping. I don't know what kind of weed them folks had or what kind of weed was in them edibles, but it took Ian somewhere else. He was somewhere else where he was Drake and he was confused about eyebrows and concerned for eyebrows feelings. Like, go watch it. That was so funny. So after we leave Camille and Ian, we go to see our girl Queen. Like I said, she's still celebrating her dad at the golf course. And she's there with Michael. They're playing their little game of golf. And she's explaining to him what's going on. And he's explaining to her his perspective. He was like, well, your mom was just telling us about how you're just horrible at dating right now. And how you're horrible at picking men. You know, that's what she was saying. You know, I ain't saying that because I don't know you. But that's what she was saying. And Quinn explains to him, like, yeah, well, but my mom don't know. It's like, I literally just got out of 2 back-to-back breakups. Like, I'm going through it. I was experimenting with girls. Like, it's a lot my mom don't know that I'm going through that I hadn't talked to her about. And I'm just not ready to talk to her about those type of things. And so they're talking about it and whatever. And they get to having almost like a friendship. And she kind of admits to him, like, well, you would be my type. But like I said, the last person that I was thinking about, you know, having a relationship with was a girl. So I'm not really sure what I want to do. You know, and seeing that, you know, I'm kind of confused. And as she was saying that, her mom comes up and she's like, saying what? Saying you confused about what? And so Michael does, you know, step in as a friend and he interjects like, well, we were talking about, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of slides it off, you know, with a different every episode with a different topic. But her mom is just so pushy. Her mom is so pushy. So, oh, y'all talking about food? Okay, let me go ahead and get y'all a reservation. I guess y'all got to go ahead and meet up for dinner. Like, lady, fall back. Fall all the way back. So as Quinn is trying to escape from her mom, we've gone back over to Angie, who's at her family's house. And she's in the room playing with her nieces. And she calls the game Spit. But I thought it was called Speed. Like where you play the card, like you put the cards down by the sequence of numbers. Like 5, 6, 7, you know, 8, 9, Jack, King, Queen. You know, I thought it was called Speed. But they called it Spit. I'm glad we didn't call it Spit. So they playing a little card game with her nieces. And her nieces curse, like call her MF. And I'm like, forgive me if I'm one of them people who don't think kids should be cussing. Like, I just don't agree. To me, it's not funny. If my kids used to say curse words, I was hella embarrassed. Like, like if you do it at the house once or twice, it's kind of cute when you're little. But after a while, the bigger that girl was, it ain't at the cute age of cussing no more. Like, you too big to be, you better stop that cussing. Cuss from around me. Like, I don't want the kids cussing around me. I'll be offended. And so she letting the niece cuss all up a storm. And she's telling, like, don't cuss loud. You got to cuss soft for grandma hear you. And so as she's saying this and instructing the baby to cut soft instead of loud, her mom comes in. She's put on the shirt that she's bought her, and she's modeling it around and everything. And they going, ah, yes, ah. And so I thought that was cute that they literally are like the same, just as loud and just as dramatic. And I love it. And so as they're doing it, the mom walks off like, matter of fact, by the way, I heard you cuss, like I hear everything. And who wouldn't have heard? That girl was loud. That girl cussed real loud. All right, so now we are back with Camille and Ed. And like I said, these were my favorite scenes this episode with the two of them. They were extra high when we got back. And they're sitting there, Camille's on her phone, and looking at the TV, and confused. He's like, what we watching? And she's like, I don't even know, but it's riveting. And they pan to the TV. These folks got the guide on. So I don't know what was riveting about the guide, but they didn't change it. They didn't even change it. So they're sitting there high and confused, and they get hungry. And they talk about food, and they discover that the reason they're extra high is because when they got hungry after the first high, they came back and Camille ate another cookie, Ian ate another cupcake. Like they were eating more edibles instead of eating actual food to bring down the high. So now they're extra high and probably extra hungry. And so they get to looking for the phone that Camille literally just lost. And they're crawling around on the floor looking for the phone. And Camille is calling for it like it's a cat, saying, hey, here, kitty, kitty, like the blues song. And Ian is, saying, here, phone, like he calling his dog. Like, they're both just on another planet right now, and it's hella funny to watch. And another thing, like I said, what I liked about this scene between the two, with them being so high, like he's still saying something about, like, I love you so much, Camille. Like, is they're sitting there looking for the phone, and he kind of said it out of nowhere, and I just thought that was so cute. And the whole scene is just so confusing, because then she gets to talking again about having the do and the do, and he's like, well, we could, I mean, I guess, and we should. And they start thinking they coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and they cans, and we shalls, and we shouldn'ts, and we shoulds. And I'm like, are y'all gonna do it or not? Like, I get so confused, and I think he get confused, and even on my notes I got arrows going all over the place, because it's like, did y'all want to do it or did y'all not want to do it? Like Ian said, you probably really shouldn't trust the science weed, because it gets you all discombobulated. Just stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. That's what I would suggest. All right, and so the next scene we have Ange back at her family's barbecue, and she's in the garage with her brothers. They're doing the usual family function thing, out in the garage smoking. And the older brother is proud that they are passing down his tradition of coming out in the garage and smoking with as a family. So Ange is the only girl, and all of her brothers are out there, and they're talking about her accomplishments and how they're proud of her. And I guess she's told everybody in the family about the potential audition that she has with the tour for Erykah Badu. And they're talking about that, and like, man, we love Erykah Badu. You're going to do so good. You're going to do so good. Like, man, I can't wait till you meet Erykah Badu. And one of the brothers like, yeah, when you on tour, you got to introduce me. I'm going to go ahead and give her a baby. Like, and everybody's like, what? And so as they're talking about it, she starts to feel the pressure, and she just goes ahead and admits that on her ride there, she got the call that unfortunately she did not get the role to be on the tour with Erykah Badu. And so the whole move switched. Like, man, forget her. You better than her anyway. Like, Erykah is non-existent now, like a non-factor after the fact that she did not hire Angie for the tour, which I get it. And so they get to talking about it and everything, and one of the brothers tries to give some advice, and the older brother just shuts him down and laughs off his little joke, whatever. And I kind of get what he was trying to say. Like, forget Erykah. Like, lay off the smoke for a while, in which I guess he was making smoke be like a metaphorical thing, metaphor. And maybe he was looking at us, lay off the hype for a while and focus on you. Get yourself together. Then when you get back big again, then you can blow smoke back in Erica's face, like, see where I'm at. Like, I think that's where he was going with it, but I don't really know. I was trying to help him out. And so the big brother has a little joke about him and talks about how he's not making sense. And so at that point, the mom calls everybody in for dinner, and most of the brothers rush on in after spraying some Febreze on them and all in Ange's face. But her older brother stays there and talks to her, and he just asks her, like, how are you doing, what you've been going through, and things like that. And she's expressing to him that, you know, she's been okay, but she has been getting a lot of rejections. And so she's kind of in the phase of trying to figure things out. And he's like, yeah, I've been wondering, like, how do you keep going when so many people tell you no? Like, you just keep getting knocked down. And so she's like, what, you do it too. And there's kind of an epiphany moment of maybe she sees him doing it, so that's what give her strength to do it too, you know, type thing. And so he was like, yeah, but I see you do it a lot better than me. Like, he's giving her props and her flowers, letting her know that you're strong, and I see how much of a star you are, and you have to stay going, you have to stay persistent. And in that moment, it just makes me admire having family like that, to where y'all have that bond to where they can motivate you and encourage you and be there for you, especially in times like that where you're kind of unsure about yourself, and they can kind of hold you in certainty and tell you how great you are. I really like that scene. Like I said, Angie has some really good scenes with her family, so I thought that was a really good scene. All right, so then we skip over to Quinn back at the golf course with her dad, and he's coming up to her. He's telling her about the fact that he didn't really know what the mom had planned going. He didn't know that the dude Michael was going to be popping up. And so Quinn is not really mad at him, and she knew from the jump it was not his idea, but she's just there to be with him, celebrate with him. So she's like, whatever, I know. She's like, but it's not the fact that mom brought him, it's the fact that I'm going through all this other stuff and it just doesn't matter. And the dad is just saying, well, you know, what are you going through? You know, they get to talking, and she does admit to him that her and Isabella have broken up, and she just feels sad about it. And he was like, I didn't want to tell you about it earlier because I didn't want to mess up your day. And he pretty much lets her know, like any parent would, like, you telling me what's going on with you or what's hurting you is not going to mess up my day, because I want you to be happy. So at the end of the day, if you're not feeling right, I want to know. And if you are happy, I want to know. Like, he just wants her to be happy. So I like that moment that they had together, and that hug they had and everything. And as usual, here comes the mom. The mom just ruined the moment. The mom ruined the moment. Like, scoot on, drive on somewhere else. So we leave Quinn and we go back to Angie's family barbecue, where she's walking into the kitchen and she sees her mom has made her famous spinach dip. And so she's sitting down to get some spinach dip, but her mom's sitting down to try to get some tea. And she's like, what's been going on? Like, tell me about your life, what you've been doing, what's dating going on, like, tell me everything. And so Angie tells her, like, girl, like, nothing going on. I ain't got nothing going on, and nothing like, she's just so down on herself. And her mom's like, stop right there. Stop right there. Like, don't beat yourself up like that. Don't do that. Like, I have always told you since you were little, you are more than enough. You are excellent. You are great. You are mating. You are walking in your purpose. She builds her up with all these affirmations that she has been saying. And one of the lines that I really liked her saying was the fact that she's like, and you know what? At the end of the day, you're a Sonia Wilson creation. Everything I make is amazing, honey. And it's like, you are amazing. Like, I would love the way she built her daughter up in that moment. And she even built up her sons too. And she's like, those boys in there, the ones who are mine and the ones who aren't by blood mine, are my kids. Like, those are my folks. Those my kids. I ride for y'all. Y'all amazing. I'm going to be there for y'all. Like, and she just embraces her and gives her what she needs. Again, I'm so glad Angie went to this barbecue, because every scene was filling her up, and she needed that. And so this scene with her and her mom was just one of those emotional scenes. Like I said, and then Sherry Shepherd did her thing, and it was perfect. Just that conversation. I think everybody wants that mom like Sherry if you don't have it. You want that mom that's going to be there and tell you what you need to hear when you're not getting it from yourself. Because we'll beat ourselves up so bad that we need to hear it sometimes. And her mom reminded her, like, what did I tell you? What have I been telling you? What did I always say? And it kind of, Angie had the smile on her face. And I'm like, I could feel it too. And it always made you want to tear up because it's like, she needed that. Like, when somebody needs something and you're happy they got it, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. So we skip back over to Quinn, where she's at this golf course, and her dad and her mom are here at this scene. And mom comes over. It's like, why are you over here talking to your daddy? You supposed to be over there with Michael. And at this point, Quinn is fed up. She's like, look here, mom. This my daddy's birthday. I'm here for my daddy. I didn't come here for Michael. I didn't even know you were setting up Michael. Speaking of, honey, I ain't trying to fool with Michael or nobody else right now. She just go ahead and lets her have like, I just broke up with Isabella. You heard that right. I was gay. I was dating Isabella, but luckily you liked her, so I think, but it didn't work out. So now I don't want to fool with Michael. I'm just chilling, like, leave me alone. Like, you're not listening to me. And then her mom did have a point in saying that, heck, I didn't know. I'm trying to help you out, but you're not talking to me. Let me know what's going on with you. So I can't really help you. So I'm doing what I think helps you. And that's where, again, miscommunication comes about. But I know Quinn is Caribbean. And I understand that I've heard from other podcasts and shows that the Caribbean family is very strict. So it's not very much communication or talking back that you want to do, in which I get it. But at this big age, I would think Quinn would kind of be okay with saying mom, in which it took to this day for her to do it, but I would have thought it would happen by now. But she went ahead and just told her, and they had a good little dialogue, so I think. And so they just got it out. Like, Quinn was saying, like, I'm into women, I'm into guys, I don't really know. And so she's like, are you gay? Are you, what are you? And Quinn was like, I don't know. I don't know right now that I'm hurt. And that's all that matters. And because Quinn was like, I don't know if I'm bi, I don't know if I'm pan. And then her mom was like, pan? You talking about pan? Like the pan pizza? And it's, no, mama, not like the pan pizza. Like, lady. But we were just trying to explain that regardless of what I am, I'm hurt right now. Like, at the end of the day, your child is hurt. And that's the only thing you need to worry about. Like, it don't matter who I'm dating, who I like. My feelings are hurt and I just need some comfort. And that's pretty much what she's looking to get, from her dad and from her mom. So I'm glad Quinn went on her thing too, because she did get the comfort from her dad that I think she needs. And I think she needed to get this off her chest to her mom in order for her mom to give her some comfort, because her mom did at the end say, I'm sorry that you went through that, and I'm sorry I invited him. Like, I liked her mom stood in her stuff right there. Like, she didn't wait. She didn't, she went ahead and said, I'm sorry. And I like that. So maybe there is hope for that relationship. But what I did want to say about this scene was, where did Rick Fox's Jamaican accent come from? Now, his first few scenes, he didn't have no accent. And y'all know I watched this episode 5-6 times. I rewind back before I even recorded this video, because I said, let me make sure I'm not tripping. Like, let me check myself. Rick Fox, you picked up an accent randomly in this scene 16 when these folks was talking about, Isabella and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I liked his accent. I don't know if I liked Rick Fox's Jamaican accent. I hope he don't have it no more. Right, so we go back to Ange, and she's telling her goodbye. She's about to get ready to go. And I just thought it was so cute again that her mom had these matching shirts on during this family function. But she's getting ready to go. They're waving everybody goodbye. And she gets in the car, and she's talking about how she's going to miss them and how she loves them already. And she gets to go through all the pictures that she took with the family. And I just, like I said, I just really loved every scene, because the whole family back outside to tell Shawty about, like, Angie needed this episode and these scenes to get refilled. I think this was the perfect refuel for her, and I love to see her get loved on. You know how when you know your friend is going through something or needs an extra something, and you see them getting, it's like, you deserve you deserve. We are back with Camille and Ian now, and they are finally coming down from their high. They have finally gotten some food without any CBD or THC in it, and they're coming down from the edibles. And they're sitting there eating their Captain Crunch and their DoorDash or whatever food they done got. And they're talking about everything. And Camille goes ahead and admits that, you know, the reason why I wanted to do all this was because, you know, I was just in my head about thinking about what we did the other night and how you used to do this stuff with Mira. And Ian's like, I knew it was something. Like, I knew you were in your head about something. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was thinking too, like, you must have been doing these moves with Jason. If Ian called Jameson Jason one more time, I'm going to be offended. But he says, you must have been doing these moves with Jason. And so she was like, yeah, I thought you were doing with Mira. And he's like, no, I was doing these moves with Jessica. And we're like, who's Jessica? And so that's when they have the epiphany of, we've dated other people since our breakup, and there's gonna be new things that we've both done with other people. And so Camille had a really good quote for her. She was like, we can't keep looking back if we're trying to move forward, or something to that nature. But it was a nice little line, watch it and see. But she's like, you can't keep looking back while you're trying to move forward, and you have to just let that be. And he was like, oh, that's a good one. I get it. And so they picked that up, and she was like, well, now that that's out the way, can we try it again? And they go ahead and they start kissing and stuff like that, and we just gonna let them have that scene. So in the final two scenes of the show, they do flash back to Ty, like I said earlier, leaving the couple a note at the game show marathon, letting them know, like, hey, this has been enjoyable, but I gotta go. Like, y'all have taught me a thing, and I see what you're doing here, but I gotta go. So she leaves Evan and Alicia while they're asleep on the couch watching their game show. And she goes back home. And we wrap up the episode back with Camille and Ian. They finally pop things off. They got the chemistry back right in the bedroom. Everything's back on track. And we get a ring at the door. And they are both confused. Like, who could that be? Like, who coming to your brownstone? Like, what kind of guest you got? And so he goes to the door, he comes back, and he's highly upset. But while he's gone, Camille lets the girls know, like, we back on track over here, baby. We talked about it, and we good. And so that's growth. And so as he's coming back in, she's like, what's up? Like, what's going on? She's putting her phone down, and he's like, yeah, I just got served. And not by B2K, like not for a dance challenge. I just got served these legal documents. And as he shows her the legal documents, that's where the credits roll as her mouth drops. We want to know what's on the papers. We're going to find out episode 4. But as for episode 3, that's a wrap. The credits rolled, and we don't know why Ian got served. But I got my speculations. But it was a really great episode. Again, like I said, I really love that you continuously see the growth in Harlem. Like I said, with Ian and Camille working through their problems and communicating. And I think, like I said, I hope that she clicks, or it clicks eventually, how Ian is devoted to her. And I hope that they get that together. Like, I hope they get that together. I want to see them make it, especially after the lives that they blew up. I want to see them make it. And so I'm really hoping that they continue on this good, healthy communicating journey that they have begun. But we shall see. Episode 4. It's been real. I'll holla.